For the next 6 months, from November 2025 to April 2026, we are offering special discounted rates to elevate your brand.
Get a significant discount on iRadio talk shows. Rate thousands with our radio sports at a reduced rate. And make your message stand out on social media with a short video, all at a special festive rates.
Hurry up, this limited time festive rates won't last.
Contact iRadio today and let's make your brand shine this holiday season.
Welcome to the Sundown Show. On this show, we bring you the movers and shakers of South Sudan and the world over. We engage in debates and discussions that unearth the stories behind the news. And we have our light moments too by chit-chatting about issues that affect our day-to-day life. Stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
أهلا ومرحبا بكم في برنامج سانداون على آي راديو. في البرنامج ده بنستضيف شخصيات بارزة ومؤثرة من جنوب السودان ومن حول العالم، وبنتحدث معهم عن القضايا اللي بتهم بلدنا وبتأثر على حياتنا. كمان بنتطرق في القصص خلف الأخبار وبنتبادل الأحاديث الخفيفة عن حياتنا اليومية. شاركونا، كونوا جزء من البرنامج فقط على آي راديو، عينك على جنوب السودان.
Hello and welcome to the Sundown Show on I Radio with me, Madrama James, and we would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2026. This program comes to you Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for a comprehensive look at the daily events, the latest information, in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and exciting surprises. To be part of the show, call us on 0911-022-986-986 or else send for us a text message on 0913-986-986. If you can't access the radio, we are also on Facebook, X to YouTube, and more. You can stream these broadcasts live by logging to that's our website at www.iradio.org. We kickstart this show by focusing on the opening of a national conference on hate speech, which is literally defined as abusive or threatening speech or written that express prejudice on the basis of ethnicity, religion, social orientation, and similar grounds. And in today's discussion, we shall take a look at the speeches delivered by experts during the opening of the three-day conference right here in Juba. First, we begin by identifying some of the abusive or threatening speech delivered by South Sudanese. First, we have a speech delivered by Edmond Yakani, who is the Executive Director for Community Empowerment and Progress Organization, also known as SEPO. Edmond started by identifying some of the common terms used to describe a particular or certain group. Here is a full speech of Edmond Yakani speaking during the opening of the 3 days national conference on combating hate speech in Juba.
The place I'm starting is Perper, Manange, Karo, MTN, Swalfaham, Nyam Nyam. Are these what real in our society or not real? Are they real or not real? They're real, isn't? And we're using them. And this is the hate speech. So I'd like to confirm that hate speech is real in the society of South Sudan. And specifically in our society where it is so much polarized, that we look at a political seat from ethnic representation, from regional representation, from power brokers that want to glorify some politicians as the godfather of politics. Hate speech is real. And not only real in politics. I will also point at Bishop. Some pastors use the Bible as a weapon of war by misquoting and misdirecting to people that they don't want. It happened. We have recorded. How I base this argument? I base this argument because we are fully engaged in tracking hate speech in our early warning system. I know tomorrow I'll have presentation, but I'll give a hint of what I'm going to talk about. If you look at our early warning system in the country, 37% of the factors that trigger frictions in our society, it's contributed by hate speech. Which platforms we track in our early warning system? Mainly social media platform. The right now dominant media platform that promote hate speech as beyond is Clubhouse. It's a social media platform. And Clubhouse, most of them are either South Sudanese in South Sudan, and mostly over 60% of Clubhouse are our diaspora, which they can insult people from ethnic line with whatever they can do. And we have Facebook, we have Twitter, and we have young people who are also engaged in the hate speech. So hate speech is real in our society. And tomorrow in my presentation, I will go into in-depth of that. What market hate speech? What make hate speech to be real? One of the factors, I would like to make it very clear without any hesitation. When you start controlling and limiting freedom of expression in the manner that you wish to be exercised, you are instigating people to start naming you the names that you don't want. So our Minister of Information from the state level and Honorable Minister at the national level, the Ministry of Information is a very central ministry that encourage conversation around people. But when you become a Minister of Information, that you want the information to fulfill the party you belong to or to embrace the leaders you belong to, and you want to limit citizens not to express themselves in the limits of or within the parameters of check and balance, then you, Minister, you are contributing us to move towards hate speech. Take this responsibility serious. Because, Honorable Minister, I think you are from our fraternity. We are so proud that you are now the Minister of Information. I've heard your speech. You will stand up for the media. I've been moving in the 10 states. Some of the state ministers, not you, the present one, but some who are come and gone, they believe they are the living authority and the law for freedom of expression. They tend to undermine what we have as the laws of South Sudan. They tend to take the law into their hands. And when journalists speak, I'm quite sure I've been battling with my brother Elijah. Then you start fixing journalists. So please, one of the responsibilities we undertake here is for us to take responsibility that nobody have a responsibility to define freedom of expression apart from what we have agreed in our legal framework. Whoever breaks it, he will face the course of the law. But don't assume certain power, and you say that power have empowered you to redefine the law. That's one thing I'd like to make it very clear because our time is so short. So I'd like to assure that hate speech is real, but hate speech starts with me and you. If we want to define hate speech, it's me and you to start before we blame anybody. So I think that's the take I'd like to bring forward. And in conclusion, I'd like to say thanks for those who are behind this event, Media Authority, Journalists for Human Rights, and the funders who are behind this, and the dignitaries that have supported this. The only thing is that I'll be repeating myself. Election is coming. And if we start thinking into politics where we measure ourselves through ethnic line, through party line, believe me, hate speech we will mark it and we will record it during the elections. But if we can start from today, me and you saying no to hate speech, whatever the circumstances, whatever the tension we have, nobody want to go to hate speech, there'll be no MTN, there'll be no Nyanyam, there'll be no Perper, there'll be no Karok. All of us will embrace and we shall argue within the parameters of the law. Thank you very much. Just a concern so that don't take it. Please, I'm sorry, Honorable Minister. I want to excuse myself because I have this issue of the political forum, the parties to the agreement, people who take power and they make the power to make us to run to displacement, to refugees. We want to discipline, they want to hold them back, the political party. So allow me to leave early enough.
Edmond Yakani, the Executive Director of SEPO. Now let's shift our focus to as well the religious leaders, where a senior cleric has called for an end to hate speech targeting public figures in churches, saying places of worship should promote unity, peace and respect rather than political attacks. Bishop Isaiah Majogdao, the General Overseer of the Sudan Pentecostal Church, SPC, made the remarks this morning during the launch of the National Conference on Combating Hate Speech and Strengthening Social Cohesion in the country. Bishop Isaiah said churches must remain spaces of peace and spiritual guidance, free from hostility and discrimination. The religious leader recounted an incident in which an named politician was targeted during a church sermon, forcing the individual to leave the service earlier. More in this following his speech.
I begin by denying that the churches are channels of hate speech. Thank you very much. I observe all the protocols because they will, if I mention all of you, my time will be gone. But I want to note the following about hate speech. Number one, any one of us can be a target of hate speech. Any one of us can be a target of hate speech. None of us is immune. And if I had time, I would have asked how many of you have been a target of hate speech, at least on social media. Anyone, even those of you who have not raised your hand, your turn is coming. That's number one. Number two, anyone of us can be guilty, not just target, can be guilty of hate speech. And that's why I retract my earlier denial, because actually people, even the church, has been guilty of hate speech. I have responsible people, ministers and MPs, who have been targeted in churches, where actually pastors or bishops, if they see a politician, then they change the sermon for that day and target them properly. I have one friend that I will not mention, who came to a church one time and he was sitting, and then the preacher started to attack politicians, and he looked at the back, there was no any other politician there. He was the only one. So he left the church and he never went to church again until we talked, because he said, why should the pastor preach about me alone? So any one of us can be guilty. And if we admit that, that is the beginning of solving it. Because it is not about others making you a target. It is also about you being guilty of hate speech. Number three, social media with all its platforms has escalated hate speech. As I talk now, if anybody devises something against me, it can spread to so many people all over the world quickly, more than any other time. Before that, it will take long, to get everybody on board. But now, with social media, with Twitter, with other platforms, hate speech can spread. Very dangerous. I made a conscious decision with the help of the council, actually, to go to America and to Europe and talk to our brothers and sisters. And many of you follow me, many of you. How many of you see me every day? There are people who see me. Next year, I will celebrate 10 years of posting messages of peace every single day. 10 years posting without delay or without missing a day, because it became a passion for me. And I do that about peace. I talk about family. I talk about social relations. I don't talk about politics, because I'm not a politician. But I talk about politics in a very human way, that politicians themselves will not realize that I'm doing that. So it is important that we know those social media can also be a negative factor. Then number four, hate speech, if not dealt with, if we don't deal with it promptly, it will translate into violence, because it can be weaponized to degrade, like Yakani was saying here, people being given name, MTN, Nyam Nyam, and many other names. Because you know what happens with it, with hate speech, is when you use it, you demean your opponent, you make them look less than human, so that when you destroy them, you are not destroying anything. For example, when you call people cockroaches, when you kill a cockroach, are you guilty of anything? So you have to use hate speech to demean them, to degrade the image of God in them, so that when you harm them, you don't feel guilty about anything. That's the danger of not dealing with social media, or with the hate speech as quickly as possible. Then, those of us who are people of influence, ministers, pastors, MPs, fathers, mothers, teachers, academia, name it, everybody, all of us, we must watch our words, because our words have influence. The Bible says that life and death are in the power of the tongue, particularly from responsible people. You know, all of us, we will talk here, but later tonight, what Atany will say is the one that will be brought, because he's in a position of influence. We can say anything here, but whatever Atany Wek will say as the Minister of Information is the one that will be a headline tonight, because he is, I'm just stating a fact. Yes, because he's a person of influence. Don't miss my point. He's a person of influence, and therefore when we speak, that's no problem. I risk that. So let us be careful with what we say as leaders, because you cannot fight hate speech by hate speech. You cannot silence noise by making noise, because you'll just be adding noise. We need to be very careful, and that has to go across the board. Like now, in a public forum like this, we are talking about combating hate speech. But do we do that at our family level when we sit with our children? What do we say when we are around the table, dinner table? What do we say about other people? About other people? Do we call them names? Do we disparage them? Or what do we do? Because that's how we can combat hate speech. And then finally, we must decide to be intentional about what we do. We should not complain only about hate speech, but we should do something about it. What are you doing in your own small way, in your own okay, Mary Jesus has called us here and help us. But what are we doing after this conference in our own special way about hate speech? And the accumulation of that will mean that we have overcome it. So conquer hate speech. We will enhance peace and harmony in our country. And may God bless us with good speech. Speech, love speech, let me say it. Because if there is hate speech, there must be love speech. There must be unity speech, harmony speech in a society. And as I always say, with that speech, the best is yet to come. And may God bless us and bless us, Sudan. Thank you very much.
You heard it all from the General Overseer of the Sudan Pentecostal Church, Bishop Isaiah Majong Daho, sharing his insight at the opening of a 3 days national conference on combating hate speech and strengthening social cohesion. Right up to here, let's have a quick break. And when we come back, that's when we shall be giving you that platform to share your opinion on 0911022986. As you have heard from the man of God, that churches should be a place of promoting a unity and a spiritual guidance. So we are asking you, our listeners, do you think churches in the country have remained true spaces of peace and spiritual guidance? Dewa khatir bejilekum bata fasilde.
For news and the music, keep it iRadio.
For information and entertainment, stay tuned to iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
This is iRadio.
في mahali kifecho kumpeu kaligma iRadio ena tako fi Junuba Sudan. Ita Baghdad Diamond weni suma iRadio ala nimra ta telefon 0911-986-986 au itabia reselu risala ala nimra 0913-986-986.
Naam, ze sevena min motoran marubel alise maizaya majong ne daw bugol khanais de mahal al nas bielga salam wa khamana nas braba rohien fa fil zaman bitasi nina basalita kha junubita khita khanais bitena fi dakhil junuba Sudan hal mahal al junubin biagderel go fiu salam وربا روحين لكن ماري بيجي زي جنوب السودان بالذات في جوبايني افتى 3 يوم عشان كيف كتاب قراهية بخفيفه في داخل جنوب السودان وفي برنامج وكمان برنامج بتاع دون لساننا بيجيب أصوات بتاع ناس الشارك رأي بتوم هل كتاب قراهية بيقللوا كيف تصل معنا طوال في زمن بتاسي في داخل استوديو برقم 09 واحد واحد ولا 22 986 At a personal note, do you think churches in the country have remained true spaces of peace and spiritual guidance? First caller, iRadio.
Madrama is Lino.
Yes, sir.
Joseph calling the number of center Tamu.
مرحبا أخونا فتر طويل كيف صحة؟
أنا ما بترنا فيك أفتح.
كل سنة أنت ثيب.
صحة وفرحة.
نعم مرحبا. في خنايس البداب أخونا جوزيف تقعد باين في داخل جنوب السودان. لما حال الجنوبين بقدر يلقوا فيه سلام وكمان ربا روحيا ولا بقول شنو؟
طبعا مدرمة. Unisa au begini je samawat lianno nafsu gwad alna begini go fi kenisa rebe nafsu gwad baden na bragini bi samawat na kan su baden to de mahal anna bidigo sunu salam fogo mahi mahal ta nan bidigo salam in le kenisa yani na ke kenisa na to ngare na ana kanini beta salam ana benefit ana kan zalana ana bisi wuzil ta yasu ana benefit ya wuzil so jema bishop bonusu ogal da si kana yani marat jema gal si jor si wuzir ra si tevisa wa buna kan ba biwa bit dashir yaw hojano abuna geir tafsir to so abyo bi preach biga direct biga direct preach ndo bara lo na no ana wara kila mo minister ما في national figure إلا يا براو تو أندر كيرينغالي كاندي minister كاندي أو president جاتو كاندي باس president ولا any national figure الرئيس كنيسة وما بورا أنا جي president ما بورا أنا جي minister ما بورا أنا جي speaker تا parliament ما بورا أنا جي MP لكن بورا أنا جي دولا ربنا قال بورا أنا جي مؤمن Muna kanda bize sirri kenisa mata desir rezon le jamao minisa desir rezon le jozol alfikiran tarabana yani fikiran tarabana mai protocol kaman kalimu de giraya albori an hajata hukuma amma batal dan marat fi zaman al fi giran marat al di albori hajata al hukuma ta zaman ta Israel al kamba mun le Israel hajal batal في زمن الممكن في إيجي يلا مرة زمان يصبر بيلقو مينيستا في كنيسة بيلقو رئيس كنيسة يلا مرة نقول بيكير كلام ده يعني مرة ده مرة يعني مينيستا أو ناس كنا بيكير يعني ممكن نقول رجع سيدو ولا بيسوي رجع سيدو لكن طبعا أو بيجي بنفس كلام هذا مدة بيصيروا في كاتبون في لناسا تا إسرائيل في إيجيبت يا كمان في سيتويشن تمام تناس إيجيبت zaman mdage kama ndio siri ndani olimu ya marata abuna bikrish yaloweza baadhi sizol de steki si marata yale sala bitu shir ma dukunsa لانه يا مدرما سلا ما بنا دي سنتا لكن مرة بارو قال له لا سيدانا لكن انا بكلم قال لك انا سيدانا قال كان بي جسير كان مينيستر ولا بريزيدنت دما I know the zone sati I know the Joseph Konyamata I know the minister ولا the president.
شكرا جزيلا اخونا جوزيف. جوزيف بقول ما في بروتوكول في كنيسة بمعنى الرسا لازم يونسوه. فإنت يعني في كنائس تاني مطران إيزايا بقول قاعد بيجيدوا ناس سديد وزي ده كمان بيجيبوا يعني بيبروموت كتاب قراهية. طب ناشد شنو في كنائس بالضبط في داخل جنوب السودان انت متأكد مون قاعد ده محل الناس بيلقى فيه سلام وناس كمان بالربا روحيا ولا تبقول شنو ناس ما من داعي راديو.
الو
ايوه
مدرما يا اخي هابي كريسماس in advance.
Same to you استاذ كمال.
أنا مدرما there is no human being who is perfect in the world, only God. ما في زول فا في الدنيا أي زول غلطان in that way or in another way. That it is a belief. But God, who is the right person, he is correct. That a human being who is created by God is not perfect. Can man suppose number 2 Madrama kalam bita الجيو نسودا nickname salvata laugata ishelin keganisa or bita. You see our situation, we are all frustrated because of this situation alina guiding namur for all over the south. Kalambika Maja, Kalambika De, Obika. Everything, everybody became frustrated, traumatized. In other words, Zola traumatized, was Zola frustrated there. He's psychiatric. He can say anything in the church, in the way, anywhere.
Now the question is, Ustaz Kamal, do you think churches in the country have remained true spaces of peace and spiritual guidance?
والله يا أخي أنت عارف الكلام بتاع أنه مفروض الناس إبليس أي كلام بتاع بايبل إبليس وكلام ده ذاته ده كلام بتاع بايبل ما تشتم زول ما تعملوا ده كله is إبليس لكن we have belief كلام ده as I have put it that we are human beings. We are not correct. With this addition to this situation, everything is frustrated. I usually Dina نعمل ولنا مصارفه لما نشوف الدول الكنيسة قلنا بيتنا وين somebody يعني talking out of sense. But if things are beyond our capacity as a human being, Rabbana قال you pray. أدعو لربنا هو مستجيب الدعوات. ربنا عملنا يخاذلنا في فكر صح على أنه قادر على كل شيء. You can do anything, but you keep praying. We keep praying. Thank you.
Thank you. Ustaz Kamal بقول ان كنت ركبتد وسلي ليالا طبعا في ألم ده ما في زول الخور بذات تابناشت شنو 09 وايد ولا 22986 مطرنا إزايا مجون داو بقول خنايز ومستيق بخون محل الناس بيلقى فيه سلام وخمان ناس برابع روحين لكن في خنايز بيجيدوا ناس كمان سديد وفي زمن بتاع سنين غاد باسا لتا متاخد خنايز في داخل بلديني ومهال الجنوبين بيلقى سلام وكتاب قراهية ما بيصل وناس برابع روحيا تبقول شنو 09 وايد وايد ولا 22 986 لأننا قاعد بنناقش في يوم على لازم يفتح في يوم الليلة وإنه هل كتاب قراهية بيقلوا كيف ناس ما من داي راديو. Yes, Joseph. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I don't want a minute because I've been calling.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying that I would be past caller.
Wow, finally you are here, my brother.
Was in waiting for
Hmm.
much, very much. My brother, let me recognize voice of activists, Elmunia County and Bishop Sundown, and others. So it is big, my brother, in our country is really politicized and really tribalistic, motivated. When you start to go to the church, you talk about church. There were a pastor stand and sat down in the gathering and sat down and pray against other community. I've seen that one time. I was saying this to be called hate prayers or to be called what? So
A hate speech.
People talk about hate speech, but somebody used to pray against another community on the same hate speech. So hate speech is tribalistic motivated because that guy decided to be from one tribe. So as not to be a church leader that when all as a person belong to all of the people. And if we knowing that when you go to the ministry, the minister also being asked from where from the minister coming from. That one is starting on ministry. Also the ministers start to ask these people, the body guys, even what so-called get what he ask from where it come from. All these things are part of his speech. If we step ourselves, we accept ourselves as South Sudanese, we set and we stay in the school together, we have been in the area together like our people now in Monarchy, we are together as South Sudanese, our people in Gudele, they are supposed to be South Sudanese, knowing themselves, their children, their school together, their praise, same church together, not to encourage what is so-called are you from which tribe. Because that is number one. First, politicians are using that as a way to get into the power. Because both the politicians go to the church, they greet people, and then they are using that people as a strong people, as a people that they have to do something for them. And later on, it is not what is doing, it is encouragement. So to our people, and then come documents. If you know, when people are talking on the chapters of constitution, there is a heresy coming out because some knowing that your interest it is not there, you talk against it, and later on will become a problem because people put heresy there, and people clash. You know what called clash? If somebody talk much on things that you don't want it, and another one also confronts it, later on it's causing clash. And if responsibility is in the hand of leaders, from the church, from the government, politician has to be held accountable. You account yourself. Unite people, make party as a party of the people of that particular nation. Let's go to them. You take your party as a national party, separated, not to involve tribalism, not to involve but be a secular party. And then you put your agenda. Agenda of today is related to tribalism, related to what we talk about is the heritage, because it's the way that to be to approach and to be in power. So it is more questionable, but let church leaders pray against people who are using heritage as a program. That program be separate from head speech.
Thank you. Joseph, right here in Munuki, Juba, sharing his opinion on how best can hate speech be encountered right here. Dear listener, let's have a quick break. When we come back, that's when I'll be taking a look at some of the messages. You send them here via our Facebook page, and then get to also receive some few of your calls. At this festivity, if you want to advertise your product or have a talk show, iRadio is the place to be.
This festive season, boost your business with iRadio's exclusive holiday offers.
For the next 6 months, from November 2025 to April 2026, we're offering special discounted rates to elevate your brand.
Get a significant discount on iRadio talk shows. Rate thousands with our radio sports at a reduced rate, and make your message stand out on social media with a short video, all at a special festive rates.
Hurry up, this limited time festive rates won't last.
Contact iRadio today and let's make your brand shine this holiday season.
عزيزي مستمع إذاعة آي راديو، لما تشارك في أي موضوع على الإذاعة أرجوك تفادي تصريحات بتحرض أو بيشجع على الكراهية. إحنا بنشجع نقد بناء وآراء هادفة اللي بتهدف إلى توفير الحلول للمشاكل اللي بتواجه الدولة. إحنا ما دايرين ترويج للشائعات أو المعلومات اللي بتعتبر بأنها شائعة أو أغاويل. إحنا بندعو إلى رسائل السلام والوحدة بين مواطنين جنوب السودان. ده آي راديو، عينك على جنوب السودان.
نعم، هنا بتاعك في جنوب السودان. في يوم بتهلل الناس قاعد بناقش إنه خراهية ولا كتاب خراهية، وبالذات بقول شنو زي الناس من مطران إزاي مجونغ داو بقول في خنايز باردو في جزء من الناس ينادروا ونسوا خراهية وكمان بعملوا كتاب خراهية. ففي محل قاعد بيسلي فوقه ولا في خنايس البيضاء في داخل جنوب السودان التعينه حال ده محل الناس بيقدر يلقى فيه سلام وربا كمان برو روحية. 09 ولا 22 قبال نستقبل رقم تليفون بتاعكم في رسالة البيطلع من أخونا زكريا كويل بقول برنامج تسمى ودافيد أمولي نفسه كلمة شكرا جزيلا وسط مشاركة. Ken Deng Deng is saying hello hi radio and all the listeners within that outside the country. I'm watching you live from Lologo here in Juba. Simon Garwich Duck is saying thank you for the show. And we have a person who called himself Marco God, who joins us from Will Center. Thank you, and you are saying hello to I Radio. Text coming in from James Siata is saying hello Madrama James, I'm watching you live from Haibazia Jadid Wow town, Western Al-Kazali State. So over to you, dear listener, as we are focusing on that hate speech and strengthening social cohesion, helped under the team beyond the painful divides here in Juba. It's a 3 days event. Now, during the opening ceremony, the General Overseer of the Sudan Pentecostal Church SPC, Bishop Isaiah Majung Nedao, emphasized that churches must remain spaces of peace and spiritual guidance free from hostility and discrimination. We are asking you, our dear listener, do you think churches in the country have remained true spaces of peace and spiritual guidance? 0911-022-986-986. What do you have to say? Our studio lines are open and you can share your opinion with us. Hi Radio. Hi Radio. Naam. Santino Garang marhab.
مرحب بكلام بتاع المسيحية فعلا بيجيب سلام في الدنيا كلها أو في دولة. أيوة لأنه دولة ثانية جديدة. بعدين دولة ثانية ده من 200 رجال ولا المسيحية وهسه اللي لقاوا كده بعد ما طلعوا من اللي هو بلدهم بقى وجدوا المسيحية تماما. فالمسيحية اختلاف بتاع الطوائف ده اختلاف بسيطة لكن كلهم بيتكلموا كلام واحد. أنا دين المسيحي ما بنحرف. أيوة أنا لو قمت من هنا ماشي جوا ولا ماشي نملي ماشي لقيت بيتزول مسيحي بالليل منو مرتاح. أنا عارف ما بيعمل لي حاجة حسب ما درسوه من في الدين. فكلام بتاع مطران اللي هنا انقسامات شوية ده أو حاجات البسيطة تحصل في بين الطوائف ده مسؤولين والكاثوليك. الكاثوليك دي أو برجعوا الناس دي يقولوا يتكلموا كده عملوا كده سووا كده. لكن الدين بتاعنا ده دين واقفين جوا الجنة. لو فهمناه ونخش الجنة زوال سريع. من حيار من نخش الجنة. أيوة بدل الناس يفهموا الله ده قاصد شنو عشان يعملوا سريع وناس يبتعدوا من المشاكل الكثير والإجرام. وشكرا لكم.
شكرا أخونا سانتينو غران وسط مشاركة. بذات جزء منكم قاعد كمان بيسالي في خنائس المختلف في داخل جنوب السودان قاعدة دين إسلامية ودين برضو بتاع كريستيان في حاجات الكل قاعد بخشف ويتا بيلقى خنائس في داخل جنوب السودان ده محل الناس بيلقى فيه سلام وربا روحيا والدا بقول شنو. هاي راديو.
Hi, Rabi, how are you?
Tamam, community advisor in Madingbor.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Give a great thanks of the clear. This is the young now. And all the listeners of our radio, like the presenter. What I know, all bishops become politicians, all pastors become politicians, and all leaders become politicians. Why? They used to hate themselves. If you see Pentecost in Bor have a problem, have the same chaos like what happened in Israel, and whereby everybody turn to hate themselves. And Bible says, if you love your God and you fail to love your brother, you mean that you are nothing. If you love me as God and you hate Satan, you are the one who will serve God. Now, those people tend to be hate themselves as bishops. And now, I don't know why they hate themselves. So today it is good the bishops and all pastors will be talking the same scenario. So if they do the same, it will be okay.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, community advisor. We have a text coming in from John Magogma Rich. He's saying that call to end hate speech by Dr. Isaiah Majong Dao is timely and commendable. The church should be in forefront to advocate for peace and unity of all people. I thank you, John Magog, for sharing your opinion with us. And then another text coming in from Wolcon Lual is saying Bishop Dr. Isaiah Dao is a man of peace and unity, highlighting our significant needs South Sudanese, meaning it's a collective responsibility. Keep those messages coming right here, and we are seeking your thought on the speech delivered by the guest at the opening of a 3 days national conference on combating hate speech and strengthening social cohesion, held under the theme Beyond the Painful Divides. Now, during the opening ceremony, the General Overseer of the Sudan Pentecostal Church, Bishop Isaiah Dow, emphasized that churches must remain spaces of peace and spiritual guidance, free from hostility and discrimination. Now we are asking you, do you think in the country whether churches have remained really spaces of peace and spiritual guidance? 0911-022-986-986. هل تقعد باينو خنايس بتنال في داخل جنوب السودان قاعد بعمل قراهية ولا له نمرة 2 لو في قاعد بعاصل في خنايس حلول شنو شارك معنا بعد فاصل توالي.
This is iRadio. When contributing to a topic on the radio, please avoid statements that may incite or promote hate. We encourage constructive points of views and criticisms that aim at providing solutions to problems facing the country. We do not want rumor mongering or information that is regarded as hearsays. We advocate for messages of peace and unity among the people of South Sudan. This is iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
Let me turn my focus and hear from this iRadio.
Madrama,
Ustaz Tolfuk.
Absolutely.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
No complaint at all.
Okay. I greet you there in the studio, and I greet all the staff of iRadio, and I greet all the listeners and regular scholars.
Thank you.
The South Sudan. Madrama program filmelo. مشكلة بتاعنا مشكلة في الجنوب. الجنوبين ما الجنوبين زي زمان، لا الجنوبين زي زمان لو الناس عملوا انتماء وبيقولوا نينا دايرين نعمل كده يعني بعمله، لكن زمان الليلة نينا قاعدين فوق ده لأن ما زي زمان. لو انت تمشي ناس ده ناس كنيسة، وناس كنيسة ده في باقي ناس على حاجة بعملوا ما حاجة بتاع كنيسة، حاجة بتاع سياسات بتاع الحكومة دخلوا في كنائس. عشان كده شباب بتاع كنائس عارف ياتوا طريقة عشان يكون سياسات بتاع الحكومات وسياسات بتاع الكرسي ودوا في الكنيسة. وكمان بعدين انت بقول انا ما مسرق والله لو بقى شنو ما عندنا سلام ما عندنا سلام ولا حاجات بعملوا. لو في الانتماء أنا قاعد نادره، ولو في زول ده أنا ما بمشي في الانتماء ده. وكيف عشان أنت بقول أنا أنا يعني مستوى، وكمان أنا يعني أنا يكون يعني زول يكون عامل الخدمات بتاع ربنا بطريقة ده ما في. لكن زي الانتماء عملوا ده عملوا شكل بروجرام عشان فوق قروش. لكن لو ما فوق قروش ما في زول عشان بقول انا نينا دايرين نعمل كده، دايرين نعمل اويرنس. لكن عشان في المساعده بتاع المنظمات وفي المساعده بتاع الكنائس اللي هو المجلس كنائس، عشان كده بقول نينا عملنا كده. لكن لو انت مشيت المهل كان عملوا الشكل ده فوقه ما تلقى على حاجه عملوا بشكل جيدا، ما في. عشان شنو؟ لانه قروش تربع جات عشان زول اي زول يعني خطوا باله في القروش. لكن انت زي الانسان يكون انت داير ودي يعني يقول على حاجه بقول في البايبل للناس لازم انت ما تشتغل بتاع قروش، تشتغل بتاع هو على حاجه بقول على حاجه يكون مساه ولا حاجه يكون يعني انت يعني يكون زول يعني بيقدم هنا ده البايبل يكون يعني يكون زي بايبل ستادي. عشان بايبل ستادي بيقول اعملوا كده واعملوا كده وخلي على حاجات دي. لكن للاسف ما في زي الجبهة هنا قاعدين فوق ده في محل يعني في زول يعني عنده كنيسة وكنيسة ده يعني لو انت مشيت فوقه الحاجات معموله مختلف لحاجات التانيت عشان شنو؟ لأنه أنينا ما دايرين كده دايرين الحاجة يكون واضح لو يقول أنينا دايرين عمل يكون اليود ده يود بتاع سلام ويود بتاع المحبة لازم بطريقة رسمي لكن بطريقة تانية ما ممكن يا أخوانا لأنه خلينا يعني القصة بقول in Ten Commandments love your God with all your heart. Don't say the word, don't say the name of God, nothing. Don't kill someone. Don't make against someone. Don't look another, don't look wife of someone. So those things, we cannot manage them. If we can manage, we know the way we keep our peace in South Sudan. But now, in some part of country, the most of conflict is start from the family, relative, and family in-law, and other thing like when you take the girl, then the another people come side and say we cannot need this guy to take our daughters, and that one is caused most of problem here in South Sudan. But if those leaders of church leaders can move from state to state, from state to county, from county to FAM, then we know, and the people who are there, the local community, they know the way the peace keep in peaceful way.
All right.
And when you are neighboring with your relative, then you
Thank
can
you.
Speak loudly.
Thank you indeed, Ustaz Tolfuk. Last caller for now. I radio.
Hello.
Now.
Yeah, just but I did not understand what was talking later on.
Yeah, we are currently talking about hate speech, where Pentecostal Bishop Majong Dao urges end to hate speech in places of worship. What's your take?
Well, I'm thinking because the religion itself is teaching people. It's not hating. It's trying to tell bad things that you have done and so that you correct. It's not hating somebody. Whenever we are talking at home and we have our problems, I'm talking with somebody or with the hair or with God, with the dogs and other things. I'm not talking to you. Because when you say in the religious area, we are correcting ourselves. We are correcting ourselves so that we should be in the line that can help us. Not we don't talk hate of speech, hate speech in the churches. These are corrections. Some people are doing it and they know it because when you go and hear what the the priest talking, it touches you because you did it. It's a shame on you now to not to do such kind of things. You should have to refrain from all the things. This is a time of reconciliation. You should not put somebody, when somebody is talking on certain things out of yours, is only talking on religious type. Because the rule that we have here, with us here as a human being, is through religions.
All right.
How they came together, yes. So, let him not think that Abuda is saying something and hate him. Because maybe he feel it himself. He feel it. Because we knew that the 10th commandment, they violated it. Especially in South Sudan, they violated everything. So when he's talking about you stole a little cows and other things. He said this is very bad.
Thank you.
See, it's not like that. Thank you.
Thank you. All those rebuke for a positive change. Dear listener, up to here, we have officially come to the end of our conversation, focusing on the speech delivered by officials at the opening of a 3-day workshop, focusing on that combating hate speech and strengthening social cohesion, where Pentecostal Bishop Majong Dao urges end to end hate speech in places of worship. And a quick comment coming in from Deng Kon Deng Jr. Saying actually churches of nowadays are business oriented. They are not serious about what God says that is his comment and everyone is entitled to his or her opinion. We have officially come to the end of this show in a special way. I would like to thank you for contributing and producer of this show, Bacho Kushagawa, Darlington Moses, Awan Moses. These are the guys behind our social media coverage. I've been your host, Madrama James. After the news headline, we shall be shifting our focus to the grand reception of Emmanuel Adil Anthony.